A brutal night for the Bengals as they lose the game to the Ravens and Joe Burrow to a wrist injury. Mike Petraglia inside M&T Bank Stadium. Here Thursday night, the Bengals beaten badly by the Baltimore Ravens 34-20. They dropped to 5-5 on the season. The Ravens 8-3 on the year and in firm control of the AFC North, but that's hardly the main story out of this game Thursday night. Of course, that would be Joe Burrow injured his right wrist throwing a touchdown pass to Joe Mixon in the second quarter. He crumpled over in pain, obviously in a lot of discomfort. Now, we understand or believe that the injury happened sometime in the first quarter, perhaps when he was sacked and driven to the ground by multiple Baltimore Ravens. We don't have any definitive word because Zach Taylor, after the game, said he only knows that it's a wrist injury that the team became aware of when he threw the touchdown pass to Joe Mixon, and then moments later was getting examined inside the blue medical tent. He left the field. He did not return. After the game, we spotted him walking off the field, and he had a slight wrap on his right wrist. Again, we don't know many other details about Joe Burrow's condition until he gets further medical examination. I asked Zach Taylor after the game if that might be on Friday, and Taylor said he didn't know at that point, but I certainly would expect an MRI is forthcoming on Joe Burrow's sprained right wrist, as Zach Taylor termed it after the game. As you might imagine, the mood in the locker room very somber, not just about the loss, but about losing the starting quarterback, their franchise leader, Joe Burrow, to a wrist injury. Joe Mixon addressed the team after the game. He said, "We need to stick together. We need to show the resolve that we have shown the last couple of years and make sure we have each other's back." Tyler Boyd, next man up. Jamar Chase, same thing. Very tough. Next man up. We have to find a way to put together some type of effort and come out on the field against the Pittsburgh Steelers a week from Sunday, which now becomes really, in essence, a do-or-die game for the Bengals as they are at 5-5 on the season. Mike Hilton said, yeah, it's tough when you lose a top two quarterback in the league and you have to come out and try to stop the Baltimore Ravens, who were red hot behind Lamar Jackson again. He had a couple of touchdown passes, and he also got 2 touchdown runs from his running back, Gus Edwards, in this game. The Ravens did everything right. They piled up 404 yards of total offense against this Bengal defense, which again struggled here tonight, allowing big plays. They allowed 5 plays of over 25 yards, and that is a really disturbing habit for Lou Anarumo's defense. They've got to find a way to get players on the field who can make tackles and not allow players to make plays in space. Again, you had wide open receivers on Thursday night for the Baltimore Ravens. A big reason they were able to get on the board first. Zay Flowers had a 32-yard reception over the middle. He ran scot-free. Nobody could lay a hand on him until he's well down the field. On the defensive side of the ball, if the Burrow injury wasn't bad enough, Cam Taylor-Britt, he stressed or injured his quad. He had to come out of the game late in the first half when the Ravens scored their 3rd touchdown of the game to make it 21-10 at halftime. And essentially the game was out of hand by that time. Jake Browning did come in, and he did a commendable job, 8 of 14 for 68 yards and a late touchdown pass when the Bengals were already down 34-13. That accounted for the final score of 34-20. Again, the big story here, it dominates everything as it should. Joe Burrow comes out of the game in the second quarter after throwing a 4-yard touchdown pass to Joe Mixon. The team is very understandably dejected after a game like this, and we're waiting further word on what might be forthcoming for Joe Burrow. We have absolutely no idea, as I stand inside M&T Bank Stadium at this time recording this, how long, what kind of timetable we're looking at for Burrow. So we'll just have to stay on top of the story. Zach Taylor is expected to address the media on Friday, so maybe, perhaps, we have an update at that time. Again, it is not a good night for the Bengals. Very tough news all around. They lose the game 34-20 to the Ravens. They fall to 5-5, and they lose their starting quarterback, Joe Burrow, to a sprained right wrist. We'll have you covered on clnscincy.com, on Twitter, X, as always, at Trags, Trags. Be sure to follow me on my YouTube page, youtube.com/@JungleRoarPod. Inside M&T Bank Stadium, Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.